I have one point, sometimes people script so much about difficult papers and all. In fact, I had this discussion long back with a colleague of mine, and I have this logic that when the paper is difficult, in fact, it is much better for a student who is well prepared.
Correct.
Do you agree with that, sir?
Totally.
So, in fact, I do as a joke, when I am explaining level ABC questions. In one question, I write something in German.
Okay.
I write in a sheet, I make a sheet with 4-5 questions, suddenly which question German mein likha hai. And I tell them, what is it? Sir, I don't know. Good, skip to the next question.
Wow, such a beautiful.
So that's the thing. Let your confidence give you that, let your preparation give you that much confidence that you should be able to say, मुझे नहीं आया तो किसी और को खा के आएगा.
So how should we do that? I mean, one thing that we do is we look at the past papers. What else can be done? Whether it is quant or English, anything.
So quant, I think more or less all of us have kind of figured out a syllabus, even though there is no syllabus defined. So वो ही है. जैसे सर ने बोला कि 9 years तक he has that consistency. Can you for the next 9 months, relating it to that, can you for the next 9 months have that consistency saying that?
And I think if I have to put a number, see very clearly at least 400 sets by the month of September. That has to be the minimum target. And then
you're being very nice to them, sir.
Hello children, my name is Raj Kumar Jha. I work for iQuanta. I teach quantitative ability and DILR. With me we have Amit Panchmatia sir.
Hello.
And both of us are here in Gurgaon studio today. So we thought why not to spend some time on talking about the CAT exam, especially the last couple of years, precisely 23, 24, 25.
Right.
What we think or what we have gathered from students, from children, about their perceptions and with respect to how they performed, how they prepared, what should the new lot or the new students who are going for CAT 26 and 27 should look forward to. Right, so sir, first of all, your thoughts about the exams, and then
So I was just thinking, I'm just having a look at the last 3 years papers. Okay. I'm not going too much into the past, just looking at the last 3 years, 23, 24, 25. So what happened in 23? There was suddenly a shocker. Quant was comparatively terribly difficult compared to all these years. You had never seen those very difficult algebra questions, which would kind of make a IIT JEE aspirant happy. And so 23 quant was very difficult. DLR I would say was slightly above average in terms of difficulty level. That was 23. Right. And everybody was rushing around saying, oh, we need to solve difficult questions. We need to solve those really difficult questions karne humko bhi, and all that stuff. People were looking at IIT JEE papers and all that. And suddenly what happened in 24? The paper was very, very simple.
Right.
Quant was very manageable. DLR was very easy. Comes 25, again people are confused what to do. And then what I think happened this year, the DLR section, at least according to me, I created a video solution for 2 of the slots out of the 3. I realized that the DLR section was slightly more difficult. There were a couple of sets which were very taxing. In an exam, and especially slot 1 I was looking at, in an exam situation within that 40 minutes, it was not possible to solve them.
Right.
So what has happened, that also kind of rubbed on to quant. Even though quant was very frankly not that difficult. I know people are going to write bad comments about this because they'll say that, oh, how do you say it was not difficult? But I think it was not difficult. But so what has happened, and which I would like to ask you is, what should a student expect next year and how should he start studying because of this whole change of difficulty level every year? And by the way, between all this, the thing which has remained very nice, which was actually an issue for a lot of students, is verbal. It has kind of remained consistent over the last 3 years.
Correct.
Except maybe 1 saal parajumble nikal diya, 1 saal wapas le aaye parajumbles ko. But otherwise it has more or less remained standard. So what's your thought? How should a student start thinking of preparation?
See, CAT has been being conducted or is being conducted for more than 26 years now.
Right.
One thing is very clear that we have seen samples of difficult papers. I mean, fortunately, I have been teaching since 1999. So CAT 2000 was first CAT paper for me. That was one of the most difficult paper still considered. That was the first time when these algebra questions were introduced, the functions and some little
Right. Same with the 2003.
Then
there were two papers. The second paper was very difficult.
Correct. Second paper was
the
very
leaked
difficult.
paper in the
first one was leaked and second was difficult. Then 2009 again was a change in pattern because there were two things. From paper,
so 2009 they went first time they went
online. So that itself created a little bit of difficulty for people because they were not habituated. Right. And every time a system is changed, it affects a little bit. Then 2014, 2017, these two papers were comparatively difficult as compared to their previous or their later papers. Right. So what I would say is that there are already instances where difficult papers have been set. So any year, it doesn't matter whether it is for 24, 25 or 26, the preparation has to be keeping in mind that if the paper is difficult, then what you should do. And if it is easy, of course, everybody will have their way out and possibilities of doing questions.
So I have some, on similar lines, what I would like to say is that I don't think so that the first half of your preparation generally changes too much.
Correct.
The first 5-6 months which you have to prepare
or
remains
rather
the same.
80% remains same.
Yeah. So the first 6 months or the 70-80% of your preparation more or less remains the same. Because you will have to start by doing some questions on numbers, then arithmetic, then move on to algebra. That all structure will remain the same.
Correct.
Yes. In fact, the job is more difficult on our side. What we will have to do is now we will have to incorporate, at least during the test series and during our revisers and during our marathon sessions, those type of sets which were asked in 25, those type of questions which were asked in Quant in 23.
Correct.
So हमको वो सब कुछ रखना है. And obviously create a test series which has to be very balanced.
Right.
You have to have some experience where you saw papers like 23 onwards.
Very difficult.
23 type paper which was very difficult. And then a 24 paper which was very easy. Because I always bring out cricket का analogy.
Okay.
अगर आप इंडिया में खेल रहे हो और एक 50 ओवर का मैच है तो शायद 350 भी कम पड़ेंगे. और if you are playing in swinging conditions and bouncy conditions of Australia, maybe a 270 is also good enough.
West Indies.
So same thing happens in CAT also. That depending on the paper, you will have to either outperform on that day or learn to manage it on that day.
Yeah, so for the aspirants of 2026 and later, one thing is very clear: the basic concepts of all the topics, all the chapters has to be done exactly in the same manner. See,
perfect.
Whether the question is easy or difficult, a person will be able to solve only when they understand the topic, only when they understand and they were very clear about the usage of basic formula or basic situations. So that does not change, as sir said, because if you prepare the concept, if you are very clear with the fundamental questions related to it, the probability or the possibility of being able to do a difficult question increases.
Right.
So you have to work, a child has to work on the very basic concepts as far as quant is concerned, and that applies to other subjects also. It's just that the way of practice is a little different in verbal and DI. So let's move on to verbal, sir. What do you think about verbal?
So I think verbal, the pattern has not changed, or even the difficulty level has not changed in the last 4-5 years. So in fact, I'm kind of slightly jealous of the verbal mentors that they will not have to change too much in their style or whatever, neither in the test series. Obviously, as we've said, we will try and keep different levels. We don't, next year verbal could become very difficult. We're saying all this, and I hope not for the students, but it could become difficult. In fact, sorry.
Yeah, please.
I have one point, sometimes people script so much about difficult papers and all. In fact, I had this discussion long back with a colleague of mine, and I have this logic that when the paper is difficult, in fact, it is much better for a student who is well prepared.
Correct.
Do you agree with that, sir?
Totally. Because
so can you
see what happens? Goodness. I have said this in one of the earlier interviews also. The goodness of a child or the good preparation of a child is very much reflected in the choice of questions that they take.
Yeah.
So if the child is well prepared, he would know or she would know which question to skip. Yeah. That's the most important. See, there are two things. One is the preparation and then applying it to the exam. Application is very different from what you prepare for. During the paper, you have to be very clear that you don't get involved after a certain time, let's say 10 seconds.
So basically, don't let your ego come in between.
Don't let your ego come between at all. And decide on the basis of the merit of the question, respect it and go to the next question. So
ये ego का problem है ना, बहुत सारे engineers के साथ आता है.
Correct.
कि भाई question को देख के they don't want to leave the question. oh, I'm an engineer from so-and-so IIT. How can I not get this question? And they spend 2, 3, 4 minutes. They don't realize even a basic commerce student has finished 2 questions of arithmetic by then.
Correct.
Finally, marks to सब question के same है. ऐसा नहीं है कि if you're going to solve a very difficult question, you're going to get 8 marks.
Right.
It's not that.
Here, I'll bring that example of CAT 23, which is supposedly a very difficult paper. Even in quant section, if you look at the cutoff was, I think 10, 11.
Right.
That requires 4 questions.
Exactly.
But were there only 4 questions which were doable? No, there were at least 8, 9 questions which were doable. But they were spread across the paper, and the other 14, 15 questions, maybe 10 of them were very difficult, but they were also spread across. So which question do I get involved with, lose my energy, lose confidence? That's where the trouble happens.
So in fact, I do as a joke, when I am explaining level ABC questions. In one question, I write something in German.
Okay.
I write in a sheet, I make a sheet with 4, 5 questions. Suddenly, which question German mein likha hai. And I tell them, what is it? Sir, I don't know. Good, skip to the next question.
Wow, such a beautiful.
So that's the thing. So when you see the very difficult question, great. Within 5 seconds, you can move to the next question.
Correct.
That's the best part.
That's precisely related to your preparation. That you don't try. I always say this, that if you get a feeling in the exam that okay, try करके देखते हैं, वो question तो बिल्कुल नहीं करना. And even if it costs, maybe leaving 12 questions, 14 questions, doesn't matter, because anyways at 8 or 9 questions, you're getting 24, 27 marks, which is 99 percentile as far as quant section is concerned.
Let your confidence give you that. Let your preparation give you that much confidence that you should be able to say, मुझे नहीं आया तो किसी और को खाक आएगा. That confidence, the day you have, you will always do well, because then you can identify a very easy paper, you can identify a difficult paper, everything you'll be able to identify, and once you're able to do that, you'll automatically start doing well. That's my logic.
Correct. Verbal, there is one issue that we have seen over a period of time, that every time there is some section or some segment left out, or some new segment is added.
Yeah, so something or the other is being added. So
how do you suggest?
So I think they should go through everything. I think, in fact, that's what I think our preparation at iQuanta also covers. You should even be ready, okay, suddenly they might have 2 grammar questions, or they might not ask, but what if they ask next year direct vocab questions? See, finally, vocab padna to hai hi, sir. Whether to understand the RC or for whatever reason, you'll have to study vocab. So be ready for a direct vocab question also, right? I remember at some time in NMAT, there used to be 5 direct vocab questions.
Right.
So people used to prepare for it. Right. So same logic, be ready for all the type of questions, whether it is parajumbles, whether it is odd man out, summary questions. So in fact, this discussion we were having last year with somebody that, summary questions are always getting very difficult. So even as a coaching institute, it's our job to give the student a variety of all types of questions in all different levels. So he should be able to see summary which is easy, summary which is medium, summary which is difficult, and so on for every type. So he doesn't make up a mindset कि okay, summary is always difficult, मैं छोड़ दूंगा. Odd man out हमेशा easy होता है, मैं हमेशा करूंगा. क्या हो गया उस दिन अगर कैट ने exactly उल्टा कर दिया तो?
Correct.
तो वो एक हमारा भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनता है कि वो पेपर सेट करते वक्त या टेस्ट सीरीज बनाते हैं हम वो वेरिएशन रख पाए.
Right. So there is another thing. There is no prescribed list of chapters or topics. So how should we do that? I mean, one thing that we do is we look at the past papers. What else can be done? Whether it is quant or English, anything.
So quant, I think more or less all of us have kind of figured out a syllabus, even though there is no syllabus defined, but we have figured out a syllabus. Like I'm sure engineering students will know that they ask coordinate geometry, but they don't go into pair of lines and all those stuff. They don't
locus
go into locus and parabola, hyperbola, वो सब पे नहीं जाते हैं. So nobody really covers it also. Maximum cover होता है तो circle तक cover होता है.
Straight line, हाँ.
Circle का coordinate geometry के साथ करते हैं. Same way, when I talk about LRDI, I tell people. So in fact, we kind of created strategy videos for each area also. So the quant strategy video is already ready and I've already put it up. So you will have it in the I button. You can have a look at the quant details.
You have very recently created a strategy to prepare for quant DI.
So I'm sure we together will work on a LRDI video. Yes, so what you were asking me, so quant, I think more or less the problem is solved.
Right.
Students in fact have an issue. They don't know how to start preparing for LRDI.
Right.
कहाँ से शुरू करूँ?
Because there is no, I mean, even quant mein there is a list, verbal mein at least we know the topics included, excluded, whatever. But LRDI, every question is new. It looks like a new topic. So how do we handle that? So
my suggestion over here is, first start building, so sir is one of those who's fitness enthusiast. So I'm sure when you started,
Right.
day one पे तो ऐसा नहीं है ना जिम में जाके 120 kg bench press ये सब नहीं हो सकता है.
Oh, yes, yes.
Day one पे नहीं हो सकता.
बिल्कुल नहीं. I
So
started.
you always start slowly.
Yeah.
So same way LRDI में भी वैसा ही लॉजिक है. It's like मेरे से एक अनफिट आदमी है जिसको फिट होना है तो लाइफ में where will you start from? You'll have to start slowly. तो वैसे ही आपको LRDI में लॉजिक इंप्रूव करना है आपका. Whether it is through games, puzzles, some things like Wordle, Quaddle, जैसे भी इंप्रूव करना है, बेसिक लॉजिक इंप्रूव करो. टेक अ वेरी वेरी ओल्ड कैट पेपर्स 90s के, ये वो सब जो 90s के अर्ली जो यू नो वेदर देयर एक्चुअल कैट पेपर और सीईटी पेपर्स जिसमें इट इज डजंट मैटर दैट दे आर वेरी बेसिक लेवल. Those type of sets will not be asked in CAT today, but that will where your logic will start improving.
You mentioned about workout, so I would like to take this
add.
opportunity to speak for a minute about that. I started working out at 38 years of age,
nice.
at 97 kilograms.
Oh,
Now I'm 81 kilograms, quite fit, quite energetic, and I started walking on treadmill at speed 4 and working out with dumbbells of 2 kg. That's how I started. As sir said, that importance of starting slow and then building on it with consistency. I mean, the last 9 years, not a single week has passed where I have worked out for less than 3 days. It is either 3 days or more. Now, coming back to this LRDI preparation, one thing is very important to understand that you cannot directly jump into difficult sets, so-called difficult
exactly.
sets.
तो वो ही है जैसे सर ने बोला ना कि 9 years तक basically he has that consistency. Can you for the next 9 months,
9
relating
months.
it to that, can you for the next 9 months have that consistency saying that I will do LRDI literally week में 4 days but like 14 sets a week, like
Correct.
average of 2 sets a day.
2 sets a day.
So that you
average.
can start with that very basic level, you know, very very straightforward sets जिसमें सिर्फ direction बताया है, okay going east then right, फिर north, फिर ये वो, तो वो level के sets भी थोड़े family relation वाले sets, arrangements के basic sets, only then your logic builds up.
Right.
And धीरे धीरे as your logic builds up, you'll realize in 2 months, like how when you go to the gym, in 2 months you now have strength to do a lot of things. Your energy improves. Here you will start realizing now you're able to do those cat level sets suddenly.
And there's another thing. I believe that after doing 200, or 200 is not a fixed number. For some people it may be a little less or a little more. After doing 200 sets, you start realizing how to read an LRDI set.
Yeah.
So solving comes a little later after that.
तो उसमें मेरा एक फेवरेट टर्म है सर, इन्फ्लेक्शन पॉइंट.
Right.
So वो पहले 200 सेट तक आपको एक प्लेटो दिखेगा,
बिना कुछ सोचे, just keep doing it.
वो
keep
प्लेटो
doing it.
दिखेगा, आपको लगेगा नहीं कुछ इंप्रूवमेंट हो रहा है.
Right.
बट वो सडनली 200-250 सेट के बाद दैट improvement will show.
Correct.
It will be like an exponential improvement.
No, I'll tell you to the extent that initially you will not be able to differentiate कि ये कौन से टॉपिक का सेट है और ये कौन से टॉपिक का सेट है. आपको लगेगा एक ही जैसा है. But over a period of time, when you have done a significant number of sets, you start realizing that what is the type of the set and how do I read it, how do I categorize it, how do I summarize it, how do I make my short notes.
Yeah.
That also, I mean, requires a good amount of practice.
So I keep telling them, identifying what kind of table you're going to make or what
Correct.
kind of representation you're going to have on your rough sheet is a very, very important thing.
And I think if I have to put a number, see very clearly, at least 400 sets by the month of September. That has to be the minimum target. And then
You're being very nice to them, sir.
Yeah, I'm being a little nice.
Yeah, you're being
Because
nice
you
to
have
them.
1,000, na?
1,000 by the end, I have.
1,000 by the end. So
Yeah.
उससे कम में ना, actually, see, if you're competing with the best of the children
Yeah.
who are going to study at IIMs, and my favorite statement that after studying from IIMs, somebody is handling Google Country or Perplexity and
Yeah.
those big companies, what do you expect out of them? They are good guys, right? Good on what basis? This is one exam, this is one step where it is tested how sustainable a person can be, how reasonable the person is, right? So it is just to test that, and that will reflect, because of your preparation, that will reflect the quantum that you have covered, and obviously the quality that will over a period of time you will be able to identify that what kind of ability you have developed. So without hesitation, as sir says 1,000, I have said 400, somewhere in between. Now number is not important. You have to keep doing it till you start feeling okay with it. You will never be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Am I right, sir? ऐसा तो नहीं होगा ना कि
ऐसा तो नहीं
अब
होगा.
मैं champion बन
I
गया हूँ.
know of somebody who's a 100 percentiler, regularly for some years, and this year in slot 1 had suddenly a thing that DLR was terrible.
Correct.
That kind of person finding DLR terrible this year. This year in 25.
Okay.
So 25 slot 1 DLR was bad. So these are the things which will always happen. You know, somebody will have a bad day, will have a bad selection. How quickly will you come out of that is important.
Correct.
Sir, I think we spoke enough about LRDI. Can we come back to quant? Because there's a big audience. There's a huge number of people who just fear quant. उनको maths देख के ही डर लगता है. आपका उनको क्या advice है?
See, when you are weak in a particular area, whether it is quant or life or otherwise, you have to do more work, plain and simple. That's the first thing. If somebody is capable of doing a topic in 2 hours, you will need 6 hours, 8 hours. Be ready to give it without any confusion, without any compromise. There cannot be any shortcut. You know, किसी सेशन में मैंने बोला
लोग, sorry, just to cut you, in fact लोग vice versa करते हैं. जो उनका weak section उस पर कम time देते हैं.
कम ही time देते हैं. And then
because they enjoy the other section which they are good at.
And then they also enjoy the, you know, that sympathetic feeling. कि अरे मैं weak हूँ. अरे weak हो तो discount थोड़ी ना मिल जाएगा. There is no sympathy. Cat is, you know, कई बार लोग बोलते हैं कि मैं rudely बात करता हूँ. I'll tell you, Cat is 4,000, 5,000 times more rude than me. Because they'll simply send you a scorecard on your mail or whatever login. आप उनसे बात भी नहीं कर पाओगे, ठीक है? So it's rather better to be rude or be non-sympathetic to self and start working on it, plain and simple. I mean, if you're weak in quant, I'll just give one example.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're weak in quant, start with counting. Do the counting from 1 to 100, 1 to 1000. Oh, if you're comfortable with that, start with tables.
Exactly.
If you're, you know, maybe 1 to 20, 1 to 30, 1 to 40, 1 to 50. Oh, you're okay with table also. Good. So work on squares. 1 to 20, 1 to 100, 1 to 1000. Why do we need to stop on it?
Exactly.
Once I start seeing that, okay, now I can calculate any square from 1 to 100. I would say that is a good enough situation, number, right? So okay, then cubes, then fractions, 1 by 10, 1 by 20, 1 by 30, 1 by 25, 1 by 7, 1 by 16. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So it will need some time, pen and paper work where you do those things 2-3 times, and it takes only 2 times or 3 times to become comfortable with all the percentages.
So in fact, what you said, no sir, कि ये जो these calculations, tables, ये वो, I don't know nowadays how much people with the technology world with phone in their hand all the time.
Right.
Initially, I should tell them just make a couple of sheets. In fact, it used to be my speed maths class. Okay. I should tell them make a sheet of that class.
Right.
Take 8-10 copies and keep it in different places in your house.
And whenever
you're sitting, dining table पे बैठे खाना आया नहीं है, एक बार वो sheet को 5 मिनट देख लिया.
Correct.
Washroom is a very good place to have it.
And so that means that effort is required to be done.
100%.
And it is more proportional to your weakness.
Perfect.
आप जितने ज़्यादा weak हैं, आपको उतना ज़्यादा काम करना पड़ेगा, and that truth cannot be changed. Do not look for a shortcut and do not look for a मसीहा कि कोई एक मसीहा आएगा मुझे परसेंटेजेस पढ़ा देगा या अलजेब्रा पढ़ा देगा और मैं उसमें चैंपियन बन जाऊंगा. नहीं होगा ऐसा, ठीक है? There are so many good faculties in nowadays on YouTube also, but उसमें issue है that you will have to study through those classes with pen and paper and do it twice or maybe thrice.
Again, a very good point which I found, which I keep mentioning. Everything is on video nowadays. Yeah. Every single thing is on video.
That's such a beautiful thing.
Okay, so now my advice to you is whenever you're seeing a quant question on video, there is a pause button. Use it at least 4 to 5 times within a question.
Correct.
When you start the question, pause it, try to solve it. नहीं आया, start करो, reach to a particular step where you feel, okay, इतना समझ में आया. Pause it again, try it. Only if you do that will you actually learn. Because if you see the whole question, this is my favorite saying, you must have heard it 1,000 times from me. It is like saying, I saw Virat Kohli ka sub matches. I have seen him right from day 1 to day end. और अब मैं भी जाके लॉर्ड्स पे बैटिंग करूंगा.
करेक्ट.
तो नहीं होने वाला है.
राइट. और मार्शल और उसके बॉल्स पे छक्का मारूंगा. तो दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन, ऑफ कोर्स, ऑब्वियसली. आई मीन एनी गुड थिंग रिक्वायर्स अ गुड एफर्ट. Any insane thing requires an insane effort. That proportionality people have to understand. End of the day, only 1% students are going to make it to the top, or 2% students are going to make it to the, say, top IIMs or top MBA colleges in the country. Would those 2%, are we, as a student, you always need to be very clear, are we one of those 2% people? Am I one of those people? Have I done that kind or that amount of work in reality? Unless we do that, we should see, end of the day, we have to understand what is our ability right now and how much we are working on it to grow constantly. Okay, so I think we have talked quite a lot, though if time had permitted, we would have talked a little more. I mean, we can keep speaking about it. But yeah, one thing that is a very important question that has been coming just now or for a very long time now, when should a child start? Say, for example, CAT 26. What or when should start and how to go about it?
So obviously the earlier the better is one part.
Okay.
The second part is now let's actually just try and understand, I was speaking to a couple of toppers of this year. And the thing which is common among all of them is the number of mocks they wrote. All of them wrote close to 30 mocks or 30
mocks.
plus.
Okay, mock test.
Mock test. Okay. So all of them wrote close to 30 mocks. Now let's try and break this down backwards. That if I want to write 30 mocks, and sir, it is not only about writing the mock, it is about analyzing.
Right.
Mock लिखने को 2 घंटा लगता है, analyze करने को 4 घंटा लगता है.
Correct.
So writing a mock, if you want to do 30 mocks, then if you start counting backwards, you will need to start somewhere by July definitely to start writing your mocks. Because initially you might not write at the same pace. Because you'll write a mock, you'll understand, okay, I'm weak in this area, you will want to revise it, there'll be some revision. And then towards October, you will start writing regularly.
Okay.
But you'll need to start writing mocks by July, I think so.
Okay. So June tak syllabus.
June tak syllabus khatam karna hai. That means you need to start definitely by January.
Right.
Okay. If you start by January, you can manage work, you can manage college and everything. See, it's not that people who will start in March or April will not do well. They will also do well.
Yes.
But then proportionately, unko per day utne zyada hours dene hai. They might not be able to manage work with it or whatever. And hence such people always then need to leave their jobs or whatever. So I think if you start in January, finish your first round of syllabus by June, start writing mocks, have time for some revision and everything, I think you're good enough. That really kind of, takes up the whole thing. 10-11 months of preparation is a very good time, I think so.
So usually about mock tests, there are a lot of children who go for multiple mock test series. How is that helpful?
At least this year for iQuanta, I'm sure you all have students have also heard it, and I've been speaking to you all also about it, is this year I have taken up to myself that we will want to create one of the best mock tests. Obviously, we'll need a lot of your support also. Right. We want to create the best mock test series in the country.
I think you have openly promised this to the
promised this
student
many
community.
Times. So we definitely want to do that. But even after all that, I always advise you should take couple of mocks from some other player also. Just to understand a different person's mindset.
They're also good. So
yes. Yeah. See, no class is stupid to give their student bad material.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. So I'm not going to name any class, which class you should take. In fact, what you can do is सबके 2 free mocks लिख दो. तुमको एक और सब लोग 2 free mocks देते हैं. एक paid mock ले लिया. If you're an iQuanta student or anything else, and write 2. So not only the good quality mocks, we are also going to work on good quality video solutions with these mocks. So all those things will be taken care of. But I would still, after all that, also tell you that you should write a couple of mocks or at least 4-5 mocks from any other different player or players, so that you also understand how they think, what is their perspective of CAT this year.
Fantastic. So I think we have...
I think it was a very great discussion. I'm sure students will really enjoy this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
So we'll end the session.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
No,
what
I think that's good enough. Thank you.
All the best types.
Yeah. Okay. All the best.
All the best.
In the comments, if you have any queries, please let us know.
Yes.